Good evening, guys. Welcome back to Sash Factor Facebook live chat series, your online feel good pageant show. It's already September, so what does that mean? It means Miss Earth is almost upon us. With two more weeks to go before the Miss Earth pageant virtually starts, let's get to know some of its candidates vying for the title of Miss Earth 2020. And here and tonight we are so privileged to have them on the show. We're so grateful that they have said yes to this interview. So without further ado, here they are. Please welcome Miss Earth Australia 2020, Brittany Dixon. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Adam. Hi, everyone watching. Great to be here today.
How has been your media week so far?
It has been hectic. This is my last interview for the week, number 5, and I have really enjoyed it. And it's been just an incredible opportunity.
So, are you getting the hang of it?
The hang of it, it's really good practice for, I guess, what we can expect coming up in the virtual pageant. So,
So far, so good, huh?
definitely having a great time.
All right. And aside from Miss Brittany, all right, another lovely eco angel is also in the house tonight. Please say hello to Tessa Leconje. Leconje, Miss Earth Netherlands 2020. Hello.
Hi
Hello,
guys,
Miss
hi Adam.
Tessa.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. How have you been?
I have been actually good, just very busy with the preparation for the upcoming Miss Earth. It's like only 2 weeks away from now, so I'm just super excited.
Yes. Wow, it's my first time to meet you, and wow, you look so amazing.
Thank you so much.
Even if we're just seeing you on our screens.
Yeah, but it's
Wow.
already nice to meet each other virtually, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm grateful for technology to allow us for
Same.
these to. Yeah. Right. Right, Brittany.
Yes, totally. We're all connecting in very unique ways and something to look forward to.
Yeah, and it's nice to finally see you like in video as well, Brittany, because we have only been texting on WhatsApp, etc. So it's nice to speak to you virtually right now.
All
Exactly,
right.
and I watched some of your interviews just so I could hear your voice, so I knew what to
Oh, really?
expect today.
That's nice to hear. So, girls, Miss Earth is around the corner. Miss Earth 2020 pageant is just around the corner. How are you guys feeling right now?
So it's been crazy. I was only announced the winner of Miss Earth Australia 2 weeks ago. So it's been a whirlwind getting ready, but the pieces of the puzzle feel like they're coming together and nearly ready to start in 2 weeks' time. I know Tess has had a little bit longer, but yeah, I don't think it'll feel like it's completely sunk in until we get to that 21st date.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm so happy that you're getting the hang of it, Brittany. You know, it's been a whirlwind. You know, it feels like I still remember the day that you were, I was just interviewing you along with your fellow elemental queens and just talking, reminiscing about your respective reign. And there, here we go. Fast forward, you're now the representative of Australia to the forthcoming Miss Earth pageant, right?
Yeah, we finally got here.
Yeah. So, what about you, Tessa?
Well, I was appointed as a new Miss Earth Netherlands, I think at the end of May or early June, so I had a few months already. But the feeling is just amazing. It's such a huge honor to represent the country during this year's Miss Earth, especially because it's going virtual and it's such a unique experience to go through. and be busy with all our preparations online, meeting all of the contestants online. So I'm just very, very excited for everything to start.
Oh, great to hear that. But before we may continue, can we give a shout out to both of your national directors for making this interview possible? I would like to give a shout out to Miss Julieta De Leon, who's also tuned in right now. Miss Julieta, hi! Thank you so much for allowing Brittany to do this interview with us here on Slash Factor. And to Miss Milu, I've known Miss Melu, your national director, for so long. Tessa, she has been a wonderful. Not only she was a wonderful delegate of your country to Netherlands the last decade, but she is has also been. I've also known her as one of the most hands-on national directors when it comes to prepping up her
Yes,
candidates
I'm
for.
very grateful to have her beside me. She's such a sweetheart and so supportive in everything we're doing. So we're doing the best I can, and I'm just very happy with her as my national director to stand by my side.
Wow. Don't you girls love it that you guys have national directors who are really um looking out for your best interest in the competition?
Yes, of
Exactly.
course.
Not even just in the competition, in life in general. Tita Juliet's like a mum to me. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And because, like in this journey, just a feeling of not being alone and just having somebody who is sticking by your side and being supportive in the best way they can, it just feels amazing and really helps us throughout your journey. So it's so good to have a good national director by your side.
Does it help that they're also female? So they could so at least they could really get to know you better. They could really understand you well in a better light.
Well, I
Does it
think
help?
for me, Milou is my national director, and she actually participated in Miss Earth as well. So I think that is like a big advantage because she's been there, she knows the organization, she knows the pageant very well, and I think that really helps with me preparing for the competition. And of course, because she's female, she is also very feminine and helpful on every part you're going through, but I'm sure like male national directors will do the best of they will do the best of they're willing as well.
All right. What about you, Brittany?
yeah, I think it's great. It's women uplifting women, and Tita Juliet, whilst I don't believe she's ever competed in a beauty pageant, she definitely used to do the makeup on the Miss Universe Philippines contestants, and
Oh
a lot of the
wow.
people that she worked on ended up winning, which yeah, it's a big credit to her as a makeup artist.
It's only now it was only recently that I got to follow your national director, Miss Julieta Brittany. I did it I was so surprised that she was one of the makeup artists back in Miss Universe 1994 when it was
Crazy.
held here in Manila. Yeah, so she was able to do the makeup of the eventual winner from India, Shushmita Sen. So yeah, so wow, I'm just whoa, or like whoa. That's why the Miss Earth that's why the Miss Earth organization entrusted the franchise to her, the Australian franchise to her. Now I can see where the Miss Earth organization is coming from, Brittany. So
Mhm.
before we continue, can we give a shout out to all the viewers who are watching? I can pronounce his name. Jurek Demark Beltran is saying, "You guys are goddesses."
Oh, thank you so
Wow.
much. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Melona Parrot, you guys can see their comment section. Melona Parrot is saying, "Hello, Miss Earth 2020 contestants." Winston is also greeting you guys. Hello, Tessa Leconje and Brittany. I have to get used to pronouncing your surname right. Leconje and Brittany Dixon. Hello, Miss Tessa and Brittany.
Hi,
You
Winston.
you
Hi,
both are look
Winston.
you both are looking gorgeous, according
Thank
to Archie
you.
Ryan. So, so girls, if you get compliments like this, how do you feel?
It's just like overwhelming. You know, we
Hmm.
are, I think for me and Brittany as well, we're just doing the best we can. And besides like having looking our best, we are I think most of all very busy with like spreading our message about the environmental issues that are happening right now. But just getting those compliments is really helps you motivating more. So very, very, very kind of you.
What about you, Brittany?
Yeah, so it's actually really overwhelming, and I get really shy when people compliment me. I don't know what to say. I just want to kind of giggle like this, but yeah, it's really sweet. And as Tessa said, we like it, and I feel like when we do get these compliments, people are more inclined to listen to what we have to say as well. So if people are enjoying what they're watching, then they're going to keep listening too. So it's a good way to keep people in to listen to our messages and our stories.
Girls, I'm curious to ask. You girls have been appointed for this year's for your respective national titles. Has it already sunk in that you have been appointed? Because we all know that usually the girls are always being crowned, but due to the ongoing health crisis the world experiencing right now, um, the organizations are forced to name or appoint a delegate to to send to the forthcoming virtual pageant. So has it sunk in yet, girls?
Yeah, so for me, there was still a little bit of a competitive aspect since I was measured, I guess, against my other elemental queens from last year, two out of the three of the other girls. And it was just really exciting to compete in that different way. So it wasn't necessarily the big glitz and glamour show, but we really got to showcase our advocacies and put our message out there, which was really exciting. And for me, yeah, it's been 2 weeks, so I don't think it has totally sunk in, but it's getting there, especially after this week of interviews. I'm really starting to feel like it's my title now. So
Yeah, I could feel everything has been like a whirlwind for you. Yeah. So yeah, what about you? What about you, Tessa?
Yeah, for me, it has quite sunk in because it's already, I think, a few months since I have been appointed as a new Miss Earth Netherlands. But from the moment I got announced, it was just like I was so overwhelmed with all the support and everything that was coming to my path. So it was just really, really amazing. And right now just very busy with all our preparation for it to start because I can't believe it's only like 2 weeks from now before we are entering Miss Earth 2020. It's edition. So I'm so excited for everything to happen and to really meet up with all of the delegates in a virtual way and just make the most of this virtual experience.
All right. Wait, before we proceed again, can I just correct myself? I'm so sorry. Brittany is not an appointed delegate to the forthcoming Miss Earth pageant. She has been crowned. Yeah, I was
on
one
the
of the
20th,
judges.
I
Yeah,
will be officially
yeah,
crowned.
yeah. I'm so sorry, Miss Juliet. Yeah, pardon me for my, yeah, for my ignorance. Yeah, you have been crowned Miss Earth Australia 2020 recently, where I sat as one of the judges during the preliminary interview round. So yeah,
There is a
wow,
lot going on.
wow. I guess it's with the age I'm getting old, so amnesia hits me so hard. Yeah.
Still looking young though.
Thank you. But yeah, anyway, let's oh Miss Milou. Miss Milou is finally watching. Hi Miss
Hi,
Milou.
Milou.
She's saying she's sending her regards all the way from the
That's
Netherlands as
nice.
well. Miss Milou, thank you for allowing Miss Tessa to do this interview with us here on Sash Factor. Archie has another comment for you guys. He says this might be too early to say, but Tessa and Brittany can go as far as top four or eventually winners. Both are so well spoken.
Wow, that's a major compliment. Thank you so much.
It's a tough
Okay.
competition. We have to see what all the other girls bring, and I think they're all amazing. So thank you so much. But
Yeah. So I would like to ask because one was recently crowned under under a very untraditional format, in a not so traditional format, and one has been appointed for the title. So, is there a difference? I would like to ask this question: is there a difference between being crowned and getting appointed, or is the feeling just the same? You know where I'm getting from.
Yeah, I think both of us likely very much earned our titles. I read our questions. I think we're both veterans to pageants, and we've both proven ourselves that we are worthy of this and that we can go on to do incredible things with this opportunity. So I'm sure it feels the same for Tessa, being appointed rather than crowned.
Yeah, it was just it's just different because normally you go through a journey with all of the pageant activities, of course, before the big coronation night and being crowned. The last time for me, I actually competed in a real life pageant was back in 2016, so it has been 4 years ago for me. But even though I got appointed to represent the Netherlands during this year's Miss Earth, the feeling was still amazing. When I got the phone call, I was like, "Oh my God, is this really happening? Am I going to do this journey another time?" And just because of the pageant being virtual, you are just as busy with your preparations, I think, as in a real life pageant. So either way, I think it's both very well deserved, and we are going to make the best of this virtual edition.
I want to ask this question, but I don't know how to put this. How to be politically correct about this. But anyway, I'll say it. I'll say it now. Do you think this pandemic turned out to be sort of a blessing in disguise for you, because you were finally able to realize your dreams of competing internationally yet again for Tessa, because she previously competed in another international competition. So do you think this sort of this health crisis has a silver lining, which is turning out, which is boding well for you guys right now?
Well, I think if it wasn't for this pandemic, I wasn't going to be the girl who was representing the Netherlands, because the winner of Miss Beauty of the Netherlands was going to be representing the Netherlands during Miss Earth this year. But I think that we are speaking about a little silver lining. So I'm very, very grateful it turned out this way. And I think everything happens for a reason. But I think the biggest silver lining is still for the environment, because it's because of the pandemic. It has a way of healing, of course. But I'm sure for me and Brittany as well, it has also a silver lining in being able to compete in Miss Earth this year.
Right, right.
Yeah, I
Brittany.
agree with Tess. I was probably going to compete in Miss Earth 2020 if there was no pandemic anyway. So I might not have won because it might have been a different kind of competition, but I'm happy that things panned out the way they did. It is a bit of a silver lining. And even though Miss Earth is going virtual, it's going to be a great opportunity, and the environment, those issues still press on, and it's still important that we continue to address those, even if that happens to be virtually.
All right. So, girls, can you share to us how have you been preparing for the competition so far? Because everything's, as we all know, that everything is going to be virtual. Which aspect of the competition are you guys focusing on at the moment?
Well, I think maybe it's going to be for Brittany as well, but I think all of the candidates for now are really focusing on to get their videos for all of their pre-pageant competitions, and just being prepared, preparing with our advocacy to really walk the talk, to say so, and. Because for me, like, the virtual experience is so new. Even though you competed in a real life pageant, it's such a new experience, and such a different way of competing. So we are just very busy with getting our videos ready for the competition to start, and of course with practicing our advocacy. So that those are my main focus points.
Yes,
I
Brittany.
agree. Yeah, so this past week has been pretty much a practice round for me, having all of these interviews. So that's really helped prepare me, I guess, for the Q&A kind of sections. And there's going to be a lot more of that, I think, with this virtual edition, because we're not going to be walking live. So there's a good chance to interact with us after our videos are shown. Yeah, so definitely excited to be answering lots of questions, and yeah, still preparing videos and getting everything together. But pieces are coming together and we will get there.
Yeah. Tessa, since Tessa already mentioned about her advocacy, and you, Brittany, talking more about doing a lot of interviews for your training preparation in the forthcoming contest. We would like to know, what are you advocating? What environmental advocacies are you championing for the pageant?
Sure, I'll go first. So my advocacy is for wildlife conservation. I am an absolute animal lover, and I think one of the big environmental issues that often doesn't get addressed because climate change is such a priority right now is the loss of biodiversity. And I think we need to be doing as much as we can to take action on that. And taking action on the loss of biodiversity also means addressing so many other environmental issues. So I think it's a worthy cause.
Animal biodiversity. What about you, Tessa?
Well, my advocacy is actually quite different from Brittany's, but Brittany's is amazing as well. But my advocacy is most of all about transforming from this crisis with new compassion and change of bad ecological habits. So I'm really trying to advocate to use the lessons we learned from this crisis to help it define a new greener cultures. So, and I want to do with that by sharing ideas on how we could do that. And I'm mainly focusing on e-connecting more and traveling less. Because moving our work online could drastically minimize the need for greenhouse gas, waste productions, travel, and business travels and conferences. And it's so easy to do, but you could already see what was happening to our Earth during this pandemic because of less pollution, less planes, less cars. You could see like the skies were clearing up again, water's getting clearer. So that is really what I am advocating for.
Right. Wait, before can we answer some questions here coming from our viewers? Miss Milu has a question for both of you. Hi, Miss Milu. I will definitely miss my trip to the Philippines this year, but happy that everything is going to be virtual. And I have a question. She asks, do you girls can still get friendships even if it's being done virtually this year? What do you do to get this pageant sister feeling?
Well, I think actually it's already happening because like every day and every week, like new girls are getting crowned. And actually, I started a group chat on WhatsApp, so I'm collecting all the girls' phone numbers, so we are able to chat with each other in a group chat on WhatsApp, just getting to know each other better, helping each other out when girls have questions or something, and just getting to know each other because it's now the only way we have. The only way is virtual. So and even like this live chat, I am able to connect with Brittany and of course with the other girls. So it's so nice to already meet each other, and I strongly believe we are able to build friendships in this way. Too.
Yeah, that's the great thing about social media and technology, is that we can connect like this. And in our group chat that Tessa created so nicely, we've suggested possibly meeting up once the pandemic is over, going to the Philippines next year, if everything's open, maybe watching next year's pageant or just going out and having a great time together.
That will be amazing.
Great bonding experience for us all.
So given the silver lining that you both said, do you feel that it still kind of sucks that you still won't get that experience of really meeting each other, bonding over, seeing each other in a host country, and getting to know a lot of new girls, new friends? get to know more about their culture, or is it something that you just look at it at a silver at a different light, that your experience is going to be unique compared from your predecessors?
Well, I think, of course, it's a little bit sad we aren't able to travel all to meet up in the Philippines and live our experiences there. But on the other hand, there are so many advantages of this fashion being virtual because, indeed, what Brittany already said, with the technologies nowadays, we are able to connect in so many ways with video calls, with texting, with social media, etc. And I think we must be very grateful to be part of this virtual experience because it's unique. It's the first time in history like a big alpha pageant will be held virtually for its 20th edition. So that's very special. And there are so many advantages. Like, what about us reducing our carbon footprint because we're not traveling? We are doing this pageant from our home country. So and we are able to make the most of our creativity with the videos, etc. So even though we are not meeting up in real life, there are so many advantages of this pageant going virtual. So I'm the same way excited as when it was happened in real life.
Yeah, and another thing, I will miss really getting involved with those hands-on activities in person, but it's also amazing to see everyone embracing those kind of hands-on opportunities in their own countries, making the most of what we can do, and it means that we get to see a broader spectrum of what people think and value in the environment and what they think is important to get involved with, rather than having everyone do the same thing on the same day. If we were going to be in the Philippines, even though I'm really going to miss it.
It's really all about positive thinking, appreciating what you guys have right now, making do with everything that's happening right now. Yeah, Miss Milu is so proud of you both
Aww, that's
girls.
so
Yeah,
sweet.
girls, you make me proud. Yeah, you know you girls are very articulate and well spoken. I even consider you girls as pageant veterans already coming into the competition. So do you guys does it pose some pressure for you both to deliver really well in the competition soon?
I can't say that I feel pressured. I think that both of us just want to do our best and make the people around us proud. And sometimes things won't work and sometimes you'll make mistakes, and that's not a problem. It's something to grow and learn from, and it's just an incredible opportunity, and you have to enjoy every second of it.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you, Brittany. I don't really feel it like pressure, but more as motivation, because I think we're both very motivated to just do well, represent our country very well during this year's Miss Earth, and just very excited for everything that is happening. And we are just living our life dream, and we are going together on this journey. And of course, when the pageant starts, I'm sure we feel a little bit of tension, but just normal tension, healthy tension. And let's just use it as a motivation to do well and to make our countries proud.
No, so no pressure at all, girls.
Just motivation.
Yeah, just motive. Yeah, yeah. Convert this thing into something that will really inspire and motivate you to really do better in the competition.
Exactly.
Because I asked this question because both of our countries have been relatively doing well in Miss Earth right now. And Australia has placed twice in top four for the past 5 years already. I'm not sure if
Wow.
I'm getting my math correctly. And then
That's right.
Netherlands has been on a winning streak for the
I know.
past
3
three
years.
years already. So
I know.
yeah, so have you been getting tips and advice from your predecessors as to how you will attack your game plan, or is it something that you're not doing because anyway I'm going to compete virtually, so it's going to be a unique experience because you guys have never experienced it?
Well, the other delegates that represented the Netherlands about 3 years, I all know them personally, and even before I knew this pageant was going to be held virtually, I already talked to them. Not to really get like the advices, but more because I wanted to learn about their journey in Miss Earth, what I was able to expect when competing there, how did they experience it, and it's just amazing to hear their stories. And they all told me it was like an experience they won't forget in a lifetime. It's just like one in a lifetime experience. So I just can't wait what it will bring for us this year.
Similar to Tessa, I don't want to one-up her, but I'm actually familiar with the last 5 queens. I've met Diana, Nadine, Nina, Monique, and Susanna, and I'm particularly close with Susanna, Monique, and Nina because they were all in. Well, Monique wasn't in my year, but I very closely followed that pageant. And Diana actually did the same degree as me at university, but we were in different years. So yeah, it's been an amazing experience, and I do find myself at least checking back in with Susanna quite a lot to, if I ever feel a little bit stressed, she'll be there to assure me that things are going to be okay and everything works out in the end, because we do have a great organization and team.
It's just about like sharing your sisterhood and sharing the legacy you carry for your country. So I think that's very special. You can share it together.
All right. I won't have a follow-up question already because you are killing it at the moment. There are comments here on our comment section. All of them have been raving about you guys. Emmanuel, Tan Ignacio. Oh, okay. Alberto Tuason Jr. says Brittany looks stunning. Netherlands also stunning and such articulate ladies, according to Tan Ignacio. Emmanuel Feliciano says, our lovely queens are on a roll. Love your social media presence and influence. So, girls, when you get comments like this, especially when they say that you guys have a strong social media presence and influence in the pageant right now, do you really make a conscious effort to really do that, to keep your campaign, your candidacy ongoing, and really making you guys letting all the pageant admins do the talking and reposting all your photos, videos for the pageant? Does it really help? The social media helps in a
Yeah,
competition like Miss Earth?
without a doubt. And I think because Miss Earth is going virtual this year, it's now more relevant than ever to keep up with your social media, because it's the only way to really address the climate issues we're facing right now, and to spread your message, to spread your advocacy. So the social media is the tool to use right now to get your message abroad to the other people, and to try to influence them. So I think keeping up with your social media is now more relevant than ever because of these virtual experiences.
Yeah, I very much agree. And I think without the fans and without the people that are interacting with us, there is no Miss Earth. So it's up to us to acknowledge them and to really try to engage back with them. I try to respond to most of the comments, or anyone that messages me personally, just to kind of say, yeah, thank you. I do see that you care about what I have to say, so I'm going to care about you too.
Yeah, exactly. I think Miss Earth has such dedicated fans and such dedicated fan pages around the world. So I think that's a very unique aspect of Miss Earth as well.
Yeah. So from what I'm getting, from you girls is that yeah, you're enjoying how it's being done right now. It's gonna be all about social media. So do you guys feel somehow pressure to really post something on a daily basis? Or do you make a conscious effort that whatever you post out there is something that's kind of relevant, something that will keep a lot of your fans and followers talking about your candidacies in the pageant? How important is an Instagram? How important is a well curated Instagram account? in a pageant like
Again,
this,
I
right?
don't think it's pressure. I think it sort of comes naturally. It's something that we do both enjoy doing and probably something would have been doing anyway. I did have a little bit of an Instagram layout that I had previously that I like to follow, but
Same.
it doesn't matter anymore.
No.
Whatever's important and the right message to put out there, I'm happy to put on my pages. So.
All
Yeah,
right.
like what you
So
said, it just feels naturally because you really want to make an impact. You really want to spread your message, and social media is the platform to do it. So if we are able to contribute in such a small way, it's just amazing that you can do it with social media.
all right. So part of the social media game is getting to know all information about you. So my next question is, what is something that people still don't know about you? Can you share a little interesting trivia or fun fact or any fun fact that people still don't know about you? Because we all know that you just look amazing goddesses with strong environmental advocacies. But other than that, what is something that is so interesting about you that could make us even talk more about it in the next few weeks to come?
You can go first, Brittany.
It's so hard to think of something like that. For me, when I was younger, I did little athletics and I was actually a shot put and discus thrower. I represented us
Oh, wow.
internationally over in New Zealand in a Trans Tasman Challenge. And nobody ever believed that was what I did. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, she's a sprinter or a high jumper or one of those really long, skinny kind of events. But I have obviously huge muscles and
Wow.
carry things a long way.
All right. Okay. So
So for me,
Tessa.
one as well at sports level, because one fun fact about me is at the age of 11, I was selected for the first time to compete at the national championship on trampoline gymnastics.
Hmm. Wow.
So at the age of 11, that was the first time I did it, and still do it nowadays. So still going strong on trampoline, and I just enjoy it. It helps me keep in shape and just being flexible, etc. So it's really helpful for the shape for Miss Earth as well.
Will you be doing that for your talent competition, or will
Yes.
there be one for the forthcoming pageant? Oh, there will be one. Okay.
Yes,
Well, it's some.
you could see more of that in the Journey Talent competition of what I do.
Oh, it's something that we look for. Well, it's something that we should look forward to.
Yes.
Girls, as we all know right now, I don't know if you are aware that of it, but the Miss Earth organization has come under criticism about pushing this year's edition, considering that there is a pandemic happening right now in the world. Many people say that, it could have waited for next year just for things to subside or improve. So how do you feel about it?
Well, actually, I have seen the critics Miss Earth receives because of still doing the pageant this year and making it virtual. And people were saying it's not as much fun as a real life pageant. But I actually highly encourage Miss Earth organization for going virtual because Miss Earth contributes in such an amazing way that is most important because I believe addressing climate change issues is now more relevant than ever because we could already see what was happening because of the pandemic, what was happening because of less human activities, and it made very clear what our role is in destroying the earth. So, if we want to have a lush green earth and with blooming flora and fauna, this is the time to make a change, and this is the time to keep on spreading the message and not stop. We must not close our eyes for everything that is happening in the world right now, and we must continue and being confident to change. And I think there are so many advantages of Miss Earth going virtual. For example, like reducing our carbon footprint because of not traveling to the Philippines. and so many more advantages. So actually, I am highly encouraging Miss Earth going for a shoot this year. It's such a unique experiences, and we are going to do this together.
Amen. Love what you said, Tessa.
Amen.
What about you, Brittany?
Tessa pretty much covered everything, and I guess it shows that the Miss Earth organization isn't hypocritical because they are supporting their contestants competing from home. And as she said, we're reducing our carbon footprint by not traveling, and that's really living out the advocacy of the organization. And apart from that, with no other big pageants happening on around the world virtually, we have the whole stage to ourselves, and we can provide that source of entertainment for the pageant lovers out there that may not have been the biggest Miss Earth fans before, but they should be now because they've got this to watch, and we're going to put on a great show for them.
For sure.
So girls, what I'm sensing from you is that Miss Earth is still relevant even at this time.
Without a doubt. Maybe even
100%.
more than ever right now.
Brittany.
Yeah, totally agree. It's so relevant, and I think it always has been because the environment is what we survive off. Without that, we have nothing. The economy doesn't matter if we have nowhere to live and nothing to sustain us. So being people that have a platform to share those advocacies and those messages and to be able to reach people that may not normally connect with that kind of content without something else behind it is just an incredible opportunity.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a whole new ball game, like
For
what you
sure.
said. Yeah. So I'm curious to ask, has I don't know if I'm supposed to ask this, but anyway, um how are you preparing for it virtually? Like for instance, like gyms, how are you doing your exercise routines, like your gym workouts, considering that here in Manila, our gyms will finally open starting next week after 6 months of not of no operations. We will finally have our
Finally.
gyms open starting next week. So yeah, with gyms finally opening. So how are you doing? Finally opening up. So how do you guys have been? How have you been doing your workouts?
Well, for me, when the gyms were closed, I tried to do as much as possible from home because you are able to do so many things from home to really keep in shape. And of course, by eating healthy, it already helps a lot as well. But here in the Netherlands, the gyms have opened up since July, I guess. So already a few months we are able to go back to the gym again and to really use the machines and to go work out. And my trampoline gymnastics have started again. So I'm just now full back on track to prepare for Miss Earth.
Yeah, I'm not much of a gym bunny anyway. I mostly did my workouts from home regardless. So I can pretty much get what I need from a workout with my own body weight and just things like dumbbells and things around the home. So for me, it hasn't been too big a deal. I've been able to access a studio to practice my passerella walking and things like that. So
Good.
yes, that's a positive. Australia has we have had quite high cases of COVID-19 here in Australia, but we've been coping quite well in my state. And there were lockdowns and gyms were closed for some time, but they are open with very strict cleaning at the moment. So if I was going, I probably would have been able to continue.
Speaking of studios, have you been are you gonna be renting studios for your forthcoming candidacies? Because I don't know if you've watched the Miss Earth Philippines virtual competition recently, where everything had also been done virtually. So you could see that everything was each girl had to use her own connections and resources in making sure that she comes out with well packaged videos. Yeah, for each key segment of the competition. So I guess is it safe to ask that has Miss Earth already given some sort of a template for you guys to follow? for the or rules or anything or a guidebook for you guys to follow for this virtual competition soon?
You want to go ahead, Tessa?
Okay. Well, we got, of course, a little guidebook for our online competitions, but there is still a big space for creativity. So countries are able to make the most of their creativity and willingness, and we were giving the chance to show different aspects. So you are able to choose between a studio or maybe to show something about your country with another background. So I think Miss Earth 2020 will be like a pageant full of surprises. So whether you're watching like Australia, the Netherlands, you could get like a whole different scene, but still like a girl hardworking. So it's just going to be like I think quite a surprise what you are all going to see from different landscapes and different backgrounds.
Yeah, Brittany.
Yeah, so as Tessa said, we have been encouraged to kind of look into what we can do to make whatever we feel more interesting and exciting for people to engage with at home. And everyone just walking around in a white plain room probably would get a little bit boring. So I think it's great that we have been encouraged to do this and showcase some beautiful things in our country. And yeah, I'm excited to see what all of the girls put together. So, and
Yeah.
I feel very sorry for those people that may be living with harsher lockdown conditions that may not be able to access those spaces. So hopefully everything is considered very fairly in that regard. But I think both Tessa and I are quite lucky that our country is a
Yeah, for
relatively
sure.
safe place.
But like
Mm.
in the end, it's not about which background you have or in which location you're standing. For Miss Earth, it's most important which kind of message you're spreading to the world. So even for the people who are in harsh quarantine or in lockdown, I am still convinced they are able to put out good work by spreading their message.
Girls, whenever hearing you guys talk, it's I really love how you are so genuine and sincere with everything that you have been saying in this interview so far. I would like to ask, where is this where is this strong passion coming from? Because let's face it, when girls compete for a pageant, it's always usually for glitz and glam, or let's say a stepping stone for a higher cause, for another endeavor in the near future. But you girls really believe in something that you chose this platform to compete instead. What is it about Miss Earth that attracted you so much to join?
Yeah, so from childhood, I always had a really strong connection and affinity with nature, and my family were amazing in that they fostered that and really encouraged me to get involved and gave me so many opportunities to do so growing up. And since I loved it so much, I went on to study that when I was at university, and now I'm working in the field. And I just got approached by the founder of Miss Earth Australia, who encouraged me to join, and I thought it was fantastic and a great way to spread those messages that I was sharing within my own inner circles, but to reach so many more people. And that's why I've joined and joined and joined again, because I really, really would love that chance. And that's why I'm so passionate about it.
And you succeeded.
Finally.
What about you, Tessa?
Well, for me, actually, my passion comes also really from my family. From when I was a younger girl, you could always find me outside playing hide and seek in the forest with my two sisters, and my mom really had to call us back inside when the sun went down. And they really learned us how to embrace different environments, different cultures, different countries by traveling. So, and really learning and developing ourselves. And I think that is also what Miss Earth is about, learning to appreciate the different environments and aspects of cultures that there are around the world. And of course, I think all the girls of us who are competing in Miss Earth also enjoy the part of glitz and glamour. But I believe Miss Earth is about so much more. It's really walking the talk to raise awareness about everything that is happening in our world right now according to environmental issues. And I think they're doing such an amazing job, and that is why Miss Earth is so relevant still nowadays.
Yeah, true. I agree. So do you think, yeah, having spoken about the environment and pandemic right now, do you think our environment is benefiting from the pandemic, considering that there's less carbon footprint, emission, and even pollution levels are at an all-time low?
Actually, I believe the pandemic is a way for Mother Earth to really restore and heal herself again, because it greatly restricted our human activities and movements worldwide. And Mother Earth has been giving space, much needed time to really renew herself, and got rid of like pollution, destruction of natural sources, etc. So she really got like the time to push the pause button and just like restore herself again. And despite of our efforts to protect her, instead we need to give her our giver of life as well.
All
Yes.
right.
So with that, I think that the Earth is recovering and doing great under these pandemic conditions. However, that's something that we need to continue when we do return to normal and when this is all over. We can't go back to what we were doing, because that will just be such a burden on the environment. And with people working from home, I think we need to continue to foster that, because people are doing so amazingly. I know from personal experience, I work a lot harder and I get a lot more done when I am at home and not having to spend time traveling to and from every day. And also, we're seeing some amazing things apart from those reduced pollution levels. We're seeing things like wildlife species that haven't been sighted in years that are feeling comfortable to come back out just because there's so much less human interference. And those stories are particularly heartwarming for me as an animal lover and I guess animal scientist. So it's amazing, but that work needs to continue. And I guess our recovery from this pandemic should be an environmentally led one. So instead of shifting back into producing things all through fossil fuels and that kind of energy, we should embrace those renewable sources going forward as well. I think that's a great way to come out of this better than we were before.
Right. Well, there's a great answers. Yeah, we need to be consistent. Yeah, we just don't have to, entrust everything to our authorities, to our government officials. Even us, we have to do our own share of how we could protect our environment, even when we go back to normal times. Right. Yeah, consistency is key. We couldn't afford to be lax about it, considering that there's a pandemic, that that nature is healing by itself. We still need to do our part
Exactly.
to protect it. Yeah, there's a comment here, an interesting comment here from Carmelo Tui. He says, to Miss Australia, I think Miss Earth should provide them same template for the shows and for synchronization. Yeah, I do agree with that. Maybe they can showcase the natural resources in each country, like in Australia, the beautiful Uluru in the background while doing the swimsuit competition.
That's a
And not just
5 hour
in a
flight.
studio, and not just in the studio, but the backdrop would be their natural spot. So, uh, when you get comments like these, do you feel like, okay, let me try that? But I'm thinking, could it be allowed? I've been, is the lockdown has the lockdown restrictions already eased up in Australia?
Yeah,
Brittany.
they have not eased that much. I wouldn't be able to cross the border to get to Uluru, which is Australia is a massive country, and I don't think people realize how huge it is. That would take over 5 hours for me to fly there. Um, so I don't think I could make that work, but there are some really great things that are closer by that we could probably afford to maybe show off. And it's a great idea. I wish it was a little bit more practicable, because it would be amazing to see those beautiful, iconic places all throughout the competition and not necessarily just in echo videos.
Actually, I want to ask a follow-up question, but I feel like asking you will make you spill more strategies that you will be doing. So I'd rather keep my mouth shut. But Alberto Borromeo Tuazon says it's a perfect idea. Yeah, like Tessa, like, parading in her swimsuit against the backdrop of windmills.
Yes, or the fields of tulips, or
Yeah. So if you will be able to execute it well, so it already feels like a travelogue of
yeah, for sure.
Netherlands.
Yeah, maybe we are already did some such different backgrounds for the video for the competitions, but like for the part where we really have to go live, I think it's different, because you really depend on a good connection, etc., good lightning. So for the
Yeah.
videos, it will be possible. For the live, I would maybe choose to rather do it like inside where you're sure you have a good connection, because then it's the interview part and you really have to deliver.
Yeah, strong Wi-Fi internet connection is key.
Exactly, most
Yeah,
important for Miss Earth.
and if I may give you a tip, you really have to make all your visuals really HD, because
Yeah,
you guys will be judged only virtually. So only what they see on you on screen will be their basis. So if you could make it glossy, HD, very impactful, so even the way you answer your Q&A will really
must be on
help
point.
you. Yeah, must be
Yes,
on point. Yeah, that's what I
exactly.
noticed about Miss Earth Philippines competition. The more HD you go, the more chances, the
The
higher the
better you
chances.
score.
Oh, the better you score, the higher chances of winning. But yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, Akash Decate says Miss Australia and Miss Netherlands both are very beautiful. As we all know, I'm gonna get you. I'll be asking a bit difficult question now. As we all know, President Trump is going to be up for election very very soon. One of the things he decided on was for the U.S. to exit, for his country to exit from the Paris Climate Agreement. Do you think both? Do you think that he made the right decision? What's your stand on climate change?
Well, actually, I believe the Paris Climate Agreement was a very important highlight in history, where we all made history because we all agreed to put our best foot forward to reduce emissions. I think in 2030 by 40%. So that's a lot. And it's just like an acknowledgement of the fact that climate change is real and is happening, and that us humans are the problems, but on the other hand, we are the solution as well. So I believe it would be a waste if President Donald Trump would exit the agreement, because now is not the time to turn your head from what is happening, but it's actually the time to open your eyes.
I agree, Tessa. I agree. You couldn't have not said it better. What about you, Brittany?
Yeah, so exactly what Tessa said, and I disagree with him leaving the Paris Agreement, just because it's so important to be acting now. And whilst Donald Trump is recognized as a really good businessman, and he's probably thinking about their economy over there right now, he's not necessarily thinking about the future. And I think the future is sustainable, and we need to consider that climate change is important, and it will be devastating for their economy if they do choose to leave and don't act on climate change. And there are some really great politicians over there in the US. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, sorry if I've said that wrong, she's recently said something that really resonated with me, and that's something to do with the environment not being a partisan or a political issue. It's something that we should be considering as science, and we should be acting accordingly in that case. And it's about people's lives. There's massive environmental disasters and
Catastrophe.
going on over there, the wildfires and flooding, and people are losing their livelihoods and even their lives. So it's something that we really do need to act on. And I guess if Trump leaves the Paris Agreement, I hope he comes up with another really positive strategy to kind of bring things back where they should be.
Interesting. So, girls, do you think one quality of a leader? Do you think that being green, or someone or a leader who's very environmental conscious or environmental friendly, or an advocate, a staunch advocate for a lot of environmental issues, should be one of the major considerations that voters, citizens, will have to think of when it comes to voting for their leaders, for their next leaders of the country?
Yeah, I believe it's like a huge part of being a good leader because the earth is our home and we want it to be our home like for the next 100 years, 200 years, maybe 1,000 years. And if we continue with our human activities that is going on right now in destroying the earth, there won't be one anymore to call our home. So I believe choosing a leader which is very environmental minded with like a green thumb or a green mindset is really a must.
Yeah. What about
I
you, Brittany?
I agree. And I think that it is up to us as the people that are voting and electing in these people to really look into the background of either the individual that you're voting for or the party that you vote for, depending on how government works in your country, and to consider their policies and if they align with what you believe in, because you really have to understand what you are voting for, because some people often forget to look into that and might just do what their parents used to do. Or yeah, so be educated, and I think a leader should have those qualities, and if you believe in it, then vote for it.
I'm your Brittany. Uh Tessa, Brittany, your answer reminds me of Miss Philippines Roxy Bayan's answer when she had her final Q&A with her pageant a few months back. Because she was kind of bashed with her answer, because the final question was all about what quality should a leader possess, should a world leader possess in this time of pandemic, while everyone answered uh, those typical qualities like being empathetic, being concerned, and all that, assertive, being a great decision maker. Roxy spoke about having a green thumb, which, if you think about it, if you're going to be technical about it, is not technically a quality, but because she's running for Miss Earth title, so that's why she spoke about it. So, how can you defend her from bashers, from other people who really can say anything nice about what being green is all about?
I think if she was speaking from the heart, which it definitely sounds like she was, then she probably shouldn't take those bashers' comments really personally. I think that you shouldn't go back on your word. And if that's what she believes, then I'm so proud of her. And I would have probably said something similar. So I'm proud of her. And I don't think she should have to listen to those bashers. It may not be the perfect answer to some people, but other people will really like it. So
yeah, and of course it led her to the title, and I believe she is an amazing representative of the Philippines. She's such a hard worker and sweet girl, and I think she's doing an amazing job. And I actually agree with her. Like having a green thumb maybe not be like a characteristic, but it is like a very important quality to have because you can be an amazing decision maker or have the most empathic style, but if there won't be like an earth to make those decisions on, you won't have anything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So there's a question here from Alberto Tuason. He says, girls, considering today's situation, What environmental initiatives should our world leaders prioritize amidst the pandemic? Anyone can start. Brittany, you wanna go ahead first?
Yeah, so considering today's current situation, I think one of the big issues that a lot of people are talking about is the proper disposal of PPE equipment. And we are seeing a rise in pollution, things like masks and hand sanitizer bottles and other equipment that's just being left in the environment, which is really devastating to see. I've mentioned it a few times, but masks have been predicted to be, you see more masks in the ocean than jellyfish at some point. And I couldn't think of anything worse than that. So I think some kind of global agreement, or each individual government should really come up with a way to mandate that and to educate on proper disposal techniques. And one of those things that I actually learned through social media, which is amazing, is that with the disposable masks, you should cut the straps off because wildlife do get caught in them. And I think that's something that a lot of people never would have thought about until someone's brought it up online. And that's the power of social media.
Right, right. What about you, Tessa?
Well, actually, I wanted to name the face mask as well, but I think another important one is to focus on is about stop spreading the fake news, by spreading the misinformation, because it has a very serious way of endangering public health and directly affects people's lives. So, but we must always remember, like, fake news only gains traction if public spreads it by social media. So together we are able to break down this media chain of fake news. Must always, like, a government should really encourage to be mindful, look around, check the sources, and really turn to the experts, because it's in times like these it's very important to not live in fear but use our strength together to overcome this. So I think, like, stopping the misinformation is also one of the things we should really focus on in times like these.
Okay, great answers. But I'm curious to ask, even without the pandemic, do you think those what you said will still be the most pressing environmental issue our current generation is facing, or do you have other environmental topics in mind that needs urgent attention by our leaders?
Yeah, you have to say climate change. It's so important, and it's something that impacts us at so many different levels. And there's countries that are already feeling the effects, particularly a lot of island nations where those seawaters are rising and people are losing their homes. Um, Certain crops aren't being pollinated at the right time, and that's a real risk to food security, and that's an economic issue and a human health issue. And I guess climate change may have even contributed to the beginning of this pandemic. We don't know exactly how it started, definitely started probably with wildlife origins, but different changes in disease can happen due to changing climate. So it's something we really need to address, and as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and I feel like
Yes.
this pandemic, like, only made the point even more, you're saying, Brittany, because it really pushed the pause button and made us realize what is happening to our world and what is happening because of less human activities, and what is happening to the earth because it's restoring again. And it's just made very clear what our role is in destroying it and what is the part of the solution as well.
Yeah, I agree. So, girls, can we now proceed to the next part of the competition, which is about the hashtag round. So I'll just ask you a few hashtags and feel free to expound about it. Just think of this as some sort of a like practice for the eventual finals night. All right. So can you get, all right, just from 1 to 10, say out, say, or pick a number, and then I'll give a specific hashtag, and then you can expound on it with no time limit. It's up to you. This is
Okay.
just going to be quick. So who wants to go first?
Shall I go
Tessa?
first? Yeah, sure.
Okay, Tessa.
Number two.
Number 2, hashtag carbon footprint.
Okay. Well, our carbon footprint is getting bigger and bigger, and we are actually the first generation that is happening that knows what is happening to our planet, and we are also the last generation that is able to do something about it. The global pandemic just opened up our eyes to what is happening, and I believe one of the solutions to reduce it is to e-connect more and travel less. Moving our work online could drastically minimize the need for greenhouse gas, waste productions, conferences, and business travel. So let's just all encourage companies and its employees to e-connect more and define it as a new, greener culture for our Mother Earth.
Wow. Wow, great answer. But you know what? If you're gonna wait, let me just give you a tip. If ever you're gonna be uh if ever you reach that portion, just try to speak slow because we're kind of you're kind of moving fast with your
Oh,
answer as we
sorry.
try to understand. Yeah, so yeah, take your time. Cause yeah, but
Will
I do
do.
get where you're coming from. You're so pressured to answer within a specific time limit. Yeah, but yeah, great content.
Thank
Otherwise,
you.
great content. Yeah. What about you, Brittany? Can you
Let's
pick a
go
number?
with number 8.
Number 8. Hashtag biodiversity.
So fitting for me.
Yeah.
Um, so biodiversity is life's key. We rely on it for our ecosystems to function and for our economy, for recreation, and our culture. And as the Earth stewards, there's so much life in our hands, and there's so much that we can do to protect it. So I think it's incredibly important and something that we really need to continue to do in the future for the many years to come.
Right. Love that. Love that. You guys are so well spoken. So one more round before we wrap this up. So yeah, we're yeah, we're more than an hour talking. So I know you girls will still be doing something else after this interview. So one more round, because we just want to pick on your brains on certain environmental issues. So Tessa, which number would you like to pick?
Number one.
Number one, oh, very timely and relevant. Hashtag social distancing.
Okay, social distancing. Well, social distancing is actually limiting our close face to face contact with other people. It's a way to reduce the spread of the coronavirus and especially important for people who are at higher risk. Social distancing can be a little bit hard for people because we really miss the real life contact, but let us remind ourselves the importance of sticking to the measurements and e-connect more because at this time we together we survived the pandemic for already 6 months and one day we will rise again together.
Yeah. Do you think it's something that we really have to get used to in the new normal, or is it something that we need to do in the long term? Like, we can't hug,
I
kiss,
know.
make what do you call that? Cheek to cheek text.
Well,
Not even.
actually, I'm afraid it will be for the long time because we're still in the midst of the pandemic right now. There's no vaccine. We still really have to remind ourselves to stick to the measurements that we're giving by our governments of our countries. And even though people really don't like it, and I truly believe me, I understand because sometimes we just feel sad, we feel alone. It really affects our physical health, but in the end, like our health and the health of others is most important. So if we keep sticking on to the measurements, the sooner the better we are rising against from this pandemic.
Right, right. So, since you mentioned something else again, I want to make a follow-up question. Even Brittany could answer this. So, I've been reading a lot of articles that a lot of first world countries are about to release their vaccines
Mm-hmm.
ahead of time without even passing by clinical trials. Um, I don't know if this has something to do with the environment, but are you in favor of that? Just so we could flatten the curve, and end this pandemic the sooner, as soon as possible.
So, as someone with a scientific background, I don't think we should be rushing things just to try and come up with a solution really quickly. I think that expediting trials and doing everything through the usual proper testing methods and making sure that things are safe for people, because imagine if we vaccinated everyone and then in 5 years we didn't know the effects and people got like, it would just be devastating. So we have to be very careful, do things through the normal standard protocols. But if we have more people working on these initiatives and working on trying to find those vaccines, I'm fully in support of that, fully in support of putting a lot of money into doing that. But I think we should be careful with what we want to put into the general population and make sure everything's incredibly safe.
So what you're saying that it's better to err or to be incautious than to err, to be
Yeah.
just to be safe. Yeah. So you wouldn't mind, practicing social distancing and all other safety and health protocols until we get those vaccines properly tested before it gets mass released.
Definitely, because there's already so much controversy around vaccines as well. I am a believer in vaccines. I think they've proven themselves over the many years. We barely see polio anymore. Those that say autism is a big issue, it's something that was around before vaccines, and it's going to continue to be a thing. And we don't need more negativity around vaccines. We want people to do the right thing, and we want it to work perfectly when it is eventually released.
Right. Okay, so one more hashtag. Brittany, are you still up to it before we wrap this up?
Yep.
Yeah, which number would you like to choose?
Let's go with 10.
Hashtag mining. Oh, mining. Yeah, it's something right up in your alley again. Yeah. So, yeah. What about
Sure.
us? Okay, sure.
So
Hashtag mining.
hashtag mining. We really need to think about taking from Mother Earth. Think twice, because do we really need to continue to harvest those raw materials from her? How much can she take? And how much should we be taking? Is there another option? Is there something that we can reuse or recycle instead? Because I think that's a more effective way going forward, and it's much nicer on the environment, much more eco-friendly, and I think that's something that we should embrace. We shouldn't keep pushing our Mother Earth to her limits, because there's so many just finite resources. So we should work with what we have and only kind of delve into that where we need to.
But if we follow by what you said, then the saying, "Girls, diamonds are a girl's best friend," will no longer be applicable. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I can live without diamonds. Get some cubic zirconias, they're just as sparkly.
So no more 64 carat wedding engagement rings if you get married or hitched
Pass
one
it on
day.
from generation to generation. It's already there.
Conservation, wow, using secondhand items, yeah. Very Miss Earth, huh? All right, girls. Last two questions before we wrap this up. How can we encourage, as a parting note, how can we encourage your fans, followers, or even those people that you could reach, or people within your reach, to adopt environmental solutions in our daily living?
You go.
Who wants to go first?
Sure. So I think we really need to lead by example. What we do in our lives is watched by so many people, and not necessarily the case for everyone, but as people that do have a platform, I think it's our responsibility to really, if you have an advocacy, live it. You don't need to just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. And I think that people will follow what we do, and it's incredibly important. We don't need to live perfectly. We can't all perfectly go zero waste, but if everyone's doing that imperfectly, then it's really going to make a significant difference on the environment and make it a really good place for everyone to live in the future.
Great answer, Tessa.
Yeah, well, actually, I already live by what Brittany already said. Since everyone is online nowadays, I will apply my Focussy by leveraging on social media as my primary platform for implementation, because I would start off with creating online content that tackles environmental issues locally and globally, of like immediate concern, and then I would like maybe like start fundraisers for online campaigns to boost awareness and following to really spark the action. So I think like social media again plays a huge role in leading example and indeed walk the talk to encourage people to really dive in like all the environmental awareness issues that are happening right now, and lead people to action.
Like that. Girls, if you can, if everyone can just be mesmerized with everything, with your beauty in as much as what you are talking, I think there will be less carbon footprint. If all men will just be, if we'll really be mesmerized by your beauty, they might as well be advocating for something environmental friendly, like probably using, what do you call that? Bamboo spoons, or
Bamboo
utensils.
straws.
Yeah, just to please Mother Earth, right? So, girls, you are so well spoken. That ends our interview. Can we just give a shout out to all our viewers who are still tuned in? Tessa, Ryan, Sir
Ryan.
Ryan is also watching us right now. Thank you,
Hi,
Sir Ryan, for
Ryan.
tuning in. Alberto, Borromeo Tuason Jr. is saying Australia, USA, Philippines, and Netherlands are my top four right now. He agrees with everything that you are saying. Janelle Alinobstals are saying you girls are confident in question and answer. You are all amazing. You are both amazing.
Wow.
JP Mipa says you both are his favorites in this year's Miss Earth pageant. Oh, your mom is even watching. I think is this Miss Alice Leconje?
Yes, yes, that's my mom. Hi, mom.
It sucks I won't be able to meet her personally.
No.
Yeah. So, girls, thank you so much for doing this interview. It has been, we learned so much about your environmental advocacies, and it is my hope that you both will do well in the forthcoming Miss Earth virtual competition. So, as a last question, can you give a message to all your fans, followers, and supporters who are cheering for you, who are rooting for you to really do well in the forthcoming competition? Let's start with Brittany.
So thank you so much to everyone that has followed and tuned in, especially over this whole past week. I'm sure some of you couldn't watch every single interview, but I'm sure some of you did. And I am incredibly grateful that you've been following me for so long and really supporting me and believing in what I do and believing that I can achieve those really positive environmental outcomes. And thank you to my team. Thank you to Sash Factor. Thank you to Tessa for being here with me. It's always fun to have someone else on board too. And I look forward to continuing to educate and inspire and bring excitement into caring for our mother.
Thank you, Brittany. What about you, Tessa?
Well, from the moment I was crowned as a new Miss Earth Netherlands, I received major support, not only from the Netherlands, but really globally, from the Philippines, from Indonesia, from countries all over the world. And ever since, it just overwhelmed me. It's really such a huge motivation in really delivering for this year's Miss Earth. So thank you all for supporting my journey. It means a lot to me. It really keeps me motivated and motivated to really address the climate change issues that are happening right now, and ways to fight it. So thank you, Adam, and thank you, Brittany, for this fun live chat and being able to share even more about my advocacy, about my thoughts, about everything that is happening in our world right now. And I really hope to continue to spread the legacy of the Netherlands and ways how we could fight climate change in this year's Miss Earth. So thank you all, and really let's do this virtually experience together.
Love it. Love it. Let's do this virtually together. I love it. So on that note, thank you so much, lovely girls, lovely Echo Angels. So can you promote would you know when the pageant is formally starting? How would could we keep tabs about you girls or the Miss Earth virtual pageant? Where do we need to get updated about the forthcoming pageant
So
soon?
actually, Miss Earth starts at September 21, so upcoming Monday, and then 2 weeks left. And the coronation night will be at November 29. So please follow our journey from all the angels that will be representing their countries during this year's Miss Earth. And let's cheer for all of us on the coronation night of November 29, and let's spread our eco angels wings this year.
There's not much more I can add. Follow us all on social media, follow the Miss Earth pages, and follow Sash Factor. They're giving really great comprehensive coverage.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Brittany. Yeah, thank you so much. So that ends my interview, girls. Thank you so much. I couldn't be more proud of you girls. Slaying this interview with so much class and finesse. Oh, for sure, what I'm seeing right now will also be the same sentiment, will also be the same reason the judges will be thinking of you as you formally compete in the competition soon. So best of luck, girls!
Thank you,
Oh no,
for inviting us.
I'm so excited about the glitz, about the glam that you will be giving us. Well, apart from the glam, about also apart from that, but also the knowledge that you will be imparting to us in terms of your environmental advocacies. Yeah, I can't wait for your foray in Miss Earth virtual pageants. Regardless if it's only gonna be virtual, it's still Miss Earth, right? Yeah, it's still gonna be Miss Earth. Miss Earth is still Miss Earth. Nobody can take that credit away from them, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beauty's for a cause, definitely. Okay, girls, I hope you keep safe and hydrated. It has been a pleasure, wonderful experience getting to know you more in the lead up in the run up of the pageant soon. God bless you, girls. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you again, Adam, for inviting us. And thank you, Brittany. It was so nice to finally meet you and speak to you in person.
Yeah.
I hope you'll be lifelong pageant sisters even after the competition is over. Yeah. Oh my God, it's my dream.
Last year that Miss Earth Australia and Netherlands were best friends, so I can't see why it can't happen again.
Let's do this year, Brittany.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So on that note, well done, girls. If I were the judge, it will be a toss-up between the two of you for the title of Miss Earth. But of course, I'm biased. I still haven't met the other how many contestants are joining this year. So, but for now, you're blowing us away. I think no one can contest that fact. Okay. Girls, God bless you. I can't wait. Stay safe, you too. Virtual kisses for now. Virtual hugs and kisses all the way from Manila. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye, girls.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye. Bye.